Welcome to the Abundance Journey, the show that helps spiritual entrepreneurs create an abundance mindset that accelerates revenue. Secretly, everything you experience in your life is actually abundance. Once you understand how to activate abundance, you find yourself in flow with your business and clients, so it's easy to create the revenue you want. The Abundance Journey is the only show that activates abundance for you, so you enjoy rapid results in your business. Here's your host, the Abundance Ambassador, Elaine Starling.
Welcome. You know how there are some people who just really get what's happening in their business intuitively? It's almost like it just comes to them. They're divinely guided in what they do. Wouldn't you love to have that kind of an experience? Yeah, me too. Well, Therese Skelly is the intuitive business mentor for service-based business owners. High achievers absolutely love working with Therese because they experience rapid shifts that get traction. In fact, her clients call Therese a catalyst for activating impacted income. Her energy-based approach helps her clients blast away whatever's holding them back and shows them how to step into that next level version of themselves. And then she helps them align those inner shifts with tactical, real-world strategies so that they're poised to make a difference. Well, as a result, naturally, they tend to thrive financially, spiritually, and mentally. And they have a business that makes them really happy. What a concept, right? I absolutely adore Therese. She is so like-minded. She's the author of the best-selling book, Love-Based Mission: How to Create a Business That Serves Your Soul. And she's got her own show. She's got this amazing inspirational podcast, Fiercely Brilliant. I'm so lucky to have you here with me today, Therese. Thank you for coming.
I'm feeling pretty blessed to be here myself. As I was saying earlier, I just feel like we're so like-minded. This is good. Unfortunately, we could talk for 7 days, so that'll be a little bit of a challenge because
I know I'm going to have to pay a little bit
part
of attention
2 and part 3 and all this stuff. But yeah. So thank you so much for hosting me.
Oh man, this is just such a blast, such a treasure, because I think a lot of people struggle with really being able to receive guidance. I know we are given guidance all the time, but we aren't always that open to receiving it. Now, one of the things that I like to do with my clients, and now I do it on my show, is I always start with an intention. And that intention is how we want to feel and what we want to create together through this collaborative conversation. It's incredibly powerful when you take the time to set your intention.
Yeah.
Even psychiatrists are doing this. They call it priming. If you read a bunch of words that are supportive before you take a test, you do a whole lot better. And if you read unsupportive words, you do a lot worse. So it's kind of like we're activating our subconscious minds and saying, okay, I want to create this. Now you go out and find all the random bits and pieces and bring them all to my attention. It's like activating your peripheral vision for your unconscious mind. Things that normally you wouldn't even pay attention to or think of, all of a sudden you're like, hey, I ought to share that. You know, this really comes to mind. And those who are listening and participating energetically with us, they'll get insights and nuances that they never would have gotten if they hadn't taken the time to hold an intention. Now, I'm going to share the intention with you in just a minute, but after I read the intention, we are going to hold that intention for 78 seconds. And I guarantee it will feel like an eternity.
It's good though. This is good to sit in. It's very good.
It's so important because, you know, we always talk about like the law of attraction. You have to be that vibration before you actually experience it. Well, by holding it for 78 seconds, you are feeling into that sensation. You're allowing yourself to feel it now. And then it's a whole lot easier for you to receive it. So,
great teaching. Yes.
How
go.
fun
Let's
is
do
that?
it. Let's do it.
Let's have some fun. Okay. In Love and Light, we hold the intention that we welcome divine guidance for complete soul expression through business, family, and fun. Thank you, divine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done. We give thanks, and so it is.
So it is.
Wow. You
I
are
felt
a
that one.
pro. Me too. I felt all this energy going up and down my spine.
Yeah, I'm like, oh. So gang listening, y'all are gonna get something good because we set something up. Oh my, that was rocking the world.
That was
Great
so
talk.
cool. And it, you know, I call this yeah, baby energy. It's when you're so excited, you're delighted, you don't know what's coming, and it doesn't matter. You just know it's going to be awesome. So how can it get any better than this? Yes, please.
Right.
Man. Well, Therese, obviously you're super passionate about helping these people get their job of their dreams, live their life fully, and really embrace everything that's coming. What got you started? Why are you so passionate about this work that you're doing?
Elaine, I'm like the quintessential accidental entrepreneur. So I started out as a psychotherapist, was completely happy, never, ever, ever in the world said I think I would ever not do therapy. I loved it. I loved the crazy people and talking about people's dramas, right? And literally probably 25 years ago, I went to an intuitive, and she said, you know, you're leaving, right? And I'm like, and she just basically every year I'd go for 3 years and she'd say, there's something else. And she said, you know, you have this little nest and people come to you and it's time to fly. And I had no idea what I would do. It was just like, what else is there? And then in 2001, so I'm like an OG, I went to life coaching school. And that was the path. Right. And yet, I had so much of my own stuff. You know, when you say yes to your big purpose, life's like, tee okay, we'll get rid of all that limiting crap then. Right. And so it has been such a transformative journey. And having come from not owning my value, not being able to be self-expressed, not like all the knots, all the challenges that I bumped into, I'm like, oh, no, not on my watch, not on my watch. I never want another woman to have to dim her light. I never want a woman to go, can I really do this? Is it good enough? Because that's been my journey, right? And so I'm so passionate because I'm on the other side. I'm on the other side of the self-doubt. I'm on the other side of I'm a woman of a certain age, and women of certain ages. We weren't given the, go girl, you do it. We were like, shh, let the man handle that and just be quiet and don't take the credit. And so having navigated all that, and today I have such a deliciously magnificent life, I have to share it. I have to, this is my superpowers, right? I have to help people live their great lives. And I do it I work with people that are generally service-based business owners, really mission-driven. So it's like, today the expression comes out in helping them create businesses they love, right? So that was a super long answer, but that's how I'm here. I'm so passionate.
No, and I love hearing the passion that you have. I think that's so incredibly powerful. And you bring up something that is really important for everybody to recognize. If you've read the book Power versus Force or The Map of Consciousness Explained, both of them are written by Dr. David Hawkins. He was a very renowned psychiatrist and just a brilliant guy. He passed in 2012. But one of the things that he said, he had a profound spiritual transformation and just was living as spirit within his body. So incredible perspective on life and everything. And he said, when you commit to love and coming from the space of love, its opposite shows up. Because we are in a space of duality. It has
to emerge. Absolutely.
And it's so funny because sometimes the opposite stuff comes before the love comes, right? With the self-love.
Yeah. I had somebody say, you know, if your life is falling apart or things are really hard now, you said the prayer, and the prayer is, use me. God, I'm yours. God, what's next? Show me my next step, right? And so very often I would say, like it's destruction before creation. We have to create space and the void so the new can come in. And I love that because I'm equipped to handle it and I can help my clients navigate, but it can be really scary, you know, when you're on the path and you're like, what in the heck? I'm doing the law of attraction wrong, right? No, there's no wrong. Well, maybe if you're not in alignment, but I mean, generally things have to break down before the breakthrough happens, right? And so to have somebody that understands that and help you just navigate is amazing because it can be scary. And you and I, we do the same work, but we all have moments of like, what the hell? So even though we have the tools, I think I had one last week, right? We have the moments of like, I need Therese for Therese, right? You need you for you, right? So yeah.
And it's so interesting because I got this download recently reminding me of that concept that when you commit to love, the opposite shows up.
Yeah.
And right now, there are a lot of wars and horrible things happening in the world. And yet we live in a time where it's much higher levels of consciousness than ever before. So of course, low consciousness has to come up too. And what's the purpose of all that? To get us to recommit to coming from that higher space. It's
That's
not an easy thing to do.
Right. It is a choice. It is. And if you look at the media, if you look at the world, it's choose sides, hate them, dismiss them, cancel that, be against that, as opposed to I can be loving myself. That's it. That's how we heal it. Right? We don't have to take sides. We unify the thing in us.
Yes.
And that's the ripple effect, because there's a lot we can't control. And so the dance is, how much do you say, yes, that's happening, without crumbling and feeling defeated? And it is one of my tricks is choose joy, follow joy. I'm like a weirdo freak for joy. I'm like, this is not going to take, because I've had a lot of trauma and suffering in my life. So today I'm like, and that doesn't mean I don't feel things and handle things, but I make it an intention to be in the frequency of joy and creation.
It's very intentional. It's very intentional. Yeah. And I have to be very intentional here too, because we will just go off on tangents.
I know.
I'm loving this conversation, but it's one of those interesting things. We're talking, this is the abundance journey is the name of the show. Yeah. And no two people define abundance the same way, because it's based on the work you do. It's based on the transformation your clients experience. So how would you define abundance?
Love that. So there's the external, right? We think abundance is money, love, wealth, health, those things that you get. I kind of think I was thinking about this before our call, right? And what came to me is it's an abundance of yourself. Because I think as women, we have allocated parts of ourselves or are looking for permission. We're not full selves if you come from challenges, right? And so to be like, who I am is just, like the abundance of self creates the external, like the outpicturing comes from when you are fully present, fully connected to that which you're as your creator. That there's nothing better than that, because you can have the money, you can have the health, you can have the nice cars, but if you don't have peace inside, if you're not solid in yourself, it's not enough. Right? It's the hamster wheel. So to me, abundance is yourself, the self-love, the self-mastery, that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, because all of that stuff on the outside, all the stuff you want that you think is going to make you happy, because it will define that you've arrived, that you're a success, that you can point to whatever. It's all because of how you want to feel on the inside. Exactly. And the ironic thing is you can feel that on the inside first, and that's when it shows up on the outside. It's got to show up inside before it ever appears outside.
Yes.
How ironic is that? Well,
cool.
You started talking a little bit about this, but I want you to delve into it more, because you're noticing, I mean, you've worked with lots and lots of different people. There are certain symptoms that people have that make them go, I got to call Therese. What is that? Where are they? What are they experiencing?
So good. Yeah, generally, I love that question. So I work with what I call high achievers, and that doesn't mean, I don't think that's a dollar figure. That doesn't mean like you have to make 7 figures or multiple 6 figures. You just know you're here for a mission and you're willing to work hard. You're a kind of an achiever. You have a mission. We are here to do good work, right? And you know all the strategy, you know what you're supposed to do. You've invested boatloads of money in mentors and coaches and programs, and yet you know that you're probably in the way. Because what I say, Elaine, is that nobody wakes up on Thursdays and says, oh, I think I'll sabotage myself. Today is the good day to blow things up, right? So there's like this, it's so maddening for me. I will speak personally. I call it like the pain of untapped potential. Like, I know I am supposed to, and it's not, again, there's a monetary amount and there's also an impact influence amount, right? So it's like, what is in the way, right? So generally there's an understanding like, I don't need strategy. I don't need another year-long program with a business code, blah, blah. I can't figure out how to get out of my own way. So there's that. And there's also you might be in this, because I think you are, we're so aligned. where there's this place where we're like, who I used to be 7 days ago is no longer like, I think I have to burn things down, or I have to pivot. It's like my soul is calling me for more. And it's either I don't know what the more is, or I have a sense of it, and holy good God, that's terrifying. Right. So it's also an expansion thing where they're like, oh my, I'm supposed to be a spiritual teacher now. What? Right. So it's either they're in the way, or their next level is a little scary, and they need somebody to kind of walk them into that.
Yeah. And that is so common. It's so common, because
especially
when
now,
you are called to greatness, it's not easy. And often we make this big mistake of thinking it's all on us to figure it out, that we are on our own. And I'm always telling people, you are in partnership with the divine. You are divinely led, divinely guided for everything that you need. I was divinely guided to meet you and get to interview you. I am so blessed.
Thank you,
knock wood. And I think that that's one of the biggest challenges that people have, is they don't realize all the resources that are available to them. Yeah,
exactly. And some women don't receive so well. Raise your hand if you're a firstborn. Raise your hand if like it's like I have to do it all. I can't ask for help. Right. So sometimes it's literally waking up going, I can't. Like, you could have just said that and somebody's like, what? How do I do that? And so that surrender, that just kind of humbling yourself, like, okay, I got the idea, but help. What do I do now? Like, you have to have it, because our brain, we have this thing called the expansion zone. The soul wants us to expand, and the subconscious is like, yeah, no, go sit down. This is not safe. So we have this dual thing happening that's the work right in there. Do you listen to the call of your soul and the divine, or do you listen to the little voice that says, oh, that's going to be so hard. Nobody's ever done that. Why you? Right. So just navigating that, it takes a lot. Yeah. And that's what I work on.
There's a little exercise that I do a lot that I have found incredibly effective, and I call it celebrate in advance. So you're big on joy. I'm big on gratitude.
Yes.
So I get grateful before it ever happens.
So good. So good.
I'll say, I'm super excited that I'm going to meet 2 mentors today. And whatever it is I'm working on, I'm going to meet 2 mentors today. And then later in the day, I'll be in the grocery store, I'll be at Starbucks, and there are total strangers in front of me. And they're having a conversation. I have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. Yeah. But something they say
just drops in,
sparks the idea. And they are my mentors. I mean, guidance is all around us, but you're so right. So often we think it can only show up in a specific way. And so we're not open to receiving it. That's why I find intentions are so powerful, because they open up that peripheral vision.
Right.
Yeah.
That's magnificent.
Well, obviously, change can be a challenge for people. I know. Both of us have experienced a great deal of change. And one of the things that I've noticed is when I want my external world to change, I always have to change something inside. What do you notice is something your clients have to be willing to shift internally before they get that external result that they want?
Stories. The stories of themselves, the stories of who they have been. So part of the work I do is teaching them to, oh, isn't that fascinating? There's a little part of me that's afraid. There's a part of me that's blah, 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 right? I really teach you must observe, be the observer of what I call resistance. There's another thing we have to work on, Elaine, is that's our identity. If you've only ever made $55,000 and you desire to make 200, the you that made 55 is not the one that's taken you to the 200. And very often the stuff that got you here isn't going to get you here. And so it's kind of like, so what's the story you have for yourself, or the kind of the ongoing narrative, the subliminal that runs in the back? We all have it, right? And then who is the person that is here? Like, really dial in, what is your identity? And then who's that next level? And so what I do is, like, if that's my next level, because I'm one with it, because it doesn't exist out there, it exists in the right now. So I just, I'm the Therese that's brought in X money. I'm the Therese that's, boom, I'm aligned with it. I pull it up instantly. So those are the 2 things very quickly you can change. Those are easy things to do, right?
Yeah. Wow. Those are really brilliant examples of things that you can do right away. And it's a challenge, because I find that we have so many thoughts racing through our heads all the time, tons of obligations. The to-do list is 5 miles long, and we can't figure out where to start.
Right.
So what can we look at that's just a baby step of progress that shows us we're on the right track?
Can you say that a different way?
So
baby step of progress. What do you mean by that?
We'd love to have the solution completely done, like bring out your magic wand and poof, now, hey presto, I'm through all of my issues, all my problems. And it usually doesn't work that way. It's a process, right? And so there are little things, little actions you take that allow you to get the progress you're after. And you talked a little bit about you have to notice your identity. You have to notice what you're saying to yourself, the stories you're sharing. Is there something specific that you want us to do right now that can shift things quickly for people?
There's a couple things. So first, there's gratitude, and I think gratitude can be an external, like, I'm so grateful I live in Arizona and it's a warm climate. I feel the gratitude. I'm super blessed. I have sunshine all the days, right? But that has nothing to do with me. So I am a big believer in acknowledgments. And so let's say I want to have better boundaries. Not me, because I've got great boundaries, but let's say I want to bring about better boundaries, or I want to focus on gratitude, or whatever the thing is that you want more of. I want you every night to write down and notice where you did that. So what we do is we acknowledge the crappy parts. We acknowledge I'm so lazy, I didn't go to the gym. We acknowledge all the things we don't want to create more of. And so I basically, like, you write down and say, okay, if this is my identity, I need to be bolder. I need to be more visible. I need to have better confidence. Let's say those are the 3 things. Okay. So what 3 actions did I do that were bolder? Oh, I only did 1. Okay. I acknowledge myself for picking up the phone and calling Elaine. I acknowledge myself. And so the more you do that, like, you're sticking that to you versus what I didn't want, couldn't do. And it literally starts to rewire your brain. So just an acknowledgement, because again, gratitude is awesome, but it's not something you are moving into generally, right? You can be grateful you went to the gym, but when you acknowledge, you're saying, this is me, I did it, mine. And so I think that's a really great exercise.
That is excellent. I love that. I love that. You're just so saying exactly what I'm all about.
It's so wild. It's
oh my gosh. I just love this because you come at it from a different perspective. I don't have your training. I don't have your experience. And so it's wonderful to see it from a different perspective with another person's eyes. So you are such a generous woman. We were chatting before we got started about your free gift. Could you tell us a little bit about this? It's just in time for Christmas, but it's going to last for so much longer, so much longer. Anytime you're listening to this show or watching this show, go and download Therese's gift.
Yes. So I have this quiz. Remember I talked a little bit earlier about the expansion zone?
Yeah.
And because I think, Elaine, some people don't know they don't know where they are in it, and they don't know the concept of it. So the expansion zone quiz is basically like, hey, this is what it is. And I go into a lot of detail. And where are you on it? And with no shame, right? So sometimes you're like, I listen to every nudge spirit gives me. And sometimes you're like, oh, heck no, this is scary stuff. I can't, right? And you can hear there's a lot of no shame work with me. There's just everything is acceptance and understanding. And I give lots of tools. So there's a very quick quiz. And then you'll get some emails, some training for how to navigate. What are some tools to say yes to the expansion? What are tools to handle the breakdowns or the I don't know what to do here when your mind's going crazy and your stories are running you. That's what it is. So,
that's brilliant. I absolutely love that. Thank you for your generosity. I can't wait to sign up and do the quiz. Nice. It's going to be fabulous. Well, of course, I have to see what we can do because we always turn the tables on our guests. We love to support our guests. So what is something that we can do to support you? In addition to getting your free gift, of course, I want everybody to take the quiz and talk about it and share it with your friends. What else can we do to support you?
But I've never been asked that on a podcast, and I've been on lots of them. So props to you. So I have a very, very cool coaching community. It's only $97 a month. There are 3 calls, and there's women like you and I. So if you like hanging out with Elaine and me, like if you like this conversation and would like some business coaching and building and a really cool community, it's called the Activate community. And so check it out. Send it to people. If you know somebody that's like, could use some coaching support, but you don't want to spend, $5,000 a month or whatever, it's $97 a month. It's a super easy investment. And I'm so committed to this community just because of who the women are and the vibe. And I want to bring some more they have to be cool people like us though, right? It's a caveat. That's very conscious, very aligned, very conscious, very, very supportive of each other. So I just want to spread the word on that as well.
Awesome. Therese, I could talk to you all day long. This is so fun.
I think we could.
I love meeting other people who really get it, who have that deep desire to serve and make a difference.
Yeah.
Because that energy is so compelling. It's so engaging. It's so enlivening. People need to know they're incredibly valuable and they can do this. They can do whatever their dream is. And having that support is just invaluable. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. You've been a gift to me as well. Thank you so much.
You've given me a real challenge though, because I've got like 3 pages of notes and I have to pick just one thing to activate abundance around.
I'm Irish. I have the gift of gab. Come on, right?
You were awesome. All right. Well, stick around because we're going to activate abundance in just a minute. So are you ready to activate abundance in every single area of your life? Well, you can get in flow with your business and your clients. It's as easy as you can imagine to create the kind of revenue you really want in your business. You can join me for the Abundance Journey 6-week training and coaching program that help you turn your problems into prosperity. Just visit theabundancejourney.com to sign up for our next adventure. I love Therese Skelly. Oh my gosh, this woman is amazing. I love her energy. I love her vibe. So step 1, gratitude. Hanging out with people like that just feeds my soul, and it should be feeding your soul too. So yay, deeply grateful that we got to have that conversation. Step 2, acknowledge something you heard that was an aha for you. Now I have heard this before, but it's so important. It really bears repeating. A breakdown is the sign of a breakthrough. It is not a bad thing. It means there's something to pay attention to here. It's like a neon sign going out saying, hey, look at this. Pay attention here. This breakdown is not a bad thing. It's just something for you to look at. That makes all the difference in the world. It really does. So step 3, appreciate the difference it can make in your life. When you stop being resistant to breakdowns and instead you embrace them for the information they're giving you, and you look inside to see what is it that's really going on here? What is causing this resistance? Why do I feel this way? All of a sudden you uncover your stories, you uncover your limiting beliefs, you uncover the part of your identity that's holding you back. It's like having a superpower. Breakdowns are a superpower that allow you to break through all your limitations. That's freaking brilliant. That's awesome. I love that Therese brought that into our conversation. Awesome. Step 4, activate abundance. We've got 3 different ways we can do that. The first is grab your calendar and schedule time for it. Sadly, breakdowns are not scheduled usually. The second way is to have like a little physical trigger where you cross your fingers, you tug on your earlobe to remind you. The third way is to declare what you're going to do. And I'm going to do something a little counterintuitive. I'm going to celebrate my breakdowns. I'm going to celebrate my breakdowns. I had a breakdown earlier today with my coach. So blessed. I realized I get performance anxiety. I want everything to be perfect before I ever get started. How silly is that? It's a collaboration. It's not a competition. I'm here to collaborate and get advice and counsel and guidance from the divine, from everybody I work with. When I'm working with my clients, I'm not dictating to them what to do. I'm helping guide them. And it depends upon how open they are to receive in order for them to actually experience the guidance that they want, that they say they're ready for. So how beautiful that I got to have this experience today. And I can celebrate that I had this amazing breakthrough. When I realized what was going on here, I don't have to have performance anxiety. I'm collaborating. I'm not supposed to have all the answers in advance. That's really silly. So it releases the pressure, it relieves the situation. And now I know if it ever happens again, I see you, I see what's going on here, and I can kick it to the curb. Awesome. Step 5, celebrate your progress. You made a ton of progress today. Therese was brilliant. All of her insights were just spot on. I love where she's coming from. This is going to be an episode I will watch and listen to again and again and again. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time for The Abundance Journey.
You've been listening to The Abundance Journey Show with Elaine Starling. Visit theabundancejourney.com/podcast gifts to access today's gift, as well as gifts from our other guests. Tune in every week to activate abundance in your life and business. If something resonated with you, please share it with your friends so they can benefit too. Keep activating abundance, and we'll see you in the next episode.